Hello, my name is Michael, and I decided to shoot a video on how to remove and replace the rear quarter window regulators in an SLK 350 convertible. This is a 2005 model I bought a couple weeks ago. Just a few days after I bought the car, the left rear regulator, the cables tore out and rats nested. In the process of removing that regulator to see if it could be repaired, the right one let loose, and I actually heard it self-destruct. What happens is you got a cable about this long, it wraps around a drum that's moved by a 12-volt motor, and then both ends of those cables join together in a nylon block. What happens is after all the years of up and down movement, the track that these windows go up and down in, you see it kind of has like a little S-curve. These tracks get dry of grease, and this is the nylon block that the cable ends attached to. Well, they rip out, and then what happens is the cable will ball up inside this motor assembly and it just self-destructs. So this video is going to show actually two things. Remember how I told you I took the left side apart to see if I could fix it? I realized I couldn't, so now I had to put it back into the car so I could have a window in there and I'd be able to drive the car. Well, I made a mistake. I decided to leave that window regulator unplugged. You don't want to do that. When I received these two regulators in the mail a week later, I went to lower my top. Guess what? The trunk would raise. It would initiate the lowering process, but that's as far as it would go. You wouldn't hear the top unlocking near the windshield. Well, actually, it was unlocking. I guess mine is still that quiet, but the top wasn't moving. So after doing a lot of YouTube research, I found out there's a method of emergency method to kind of unlock the top so you can do maintenance. If my wife Raylene will circle around to the right side of the car here and shoot in here, Raylene. Okay, so you've got your center console here. To get this top down, if the computer is freaked out because you've left something unplugged and it says, I don't know what's going on, all you do is you open this cover here. Right where my finger is, I'm not sure if the lighting is good enough, but there's a panel you pry out the size of a quarter. Now this breaks out. It's not like something that has a lip that's remove and replace. It has three little tabs and you simply break it out. I'm not sure where it is. But anyways, then you have carpet behind there. In my case, I had to take a utility knife and kind of cut a little slot. Once you get that slot cut through the carpet, you now have access to the hydraulic pump. And using a 6mm Allen wrench, you go in here and you unscrew that Allen wrench bolt. Only 2 turns, no more than 2 turns. So that's the first thing you're going to do. What that's going to allow is for the hydraulic pump to bypass fluid back through the system, so you no longer have a hydraulic lock. The second thing you need to do, and you can't see it because I have the top lowered, however, I do have the cover. Imagine if the top were down right about here in your headliner, you have this little pop-out piece. Just grab it with your fingernail, pop it out. The same 6mm that you use to turn only 2 turns on the pump, you unlock, manually you unlock the roof from here and here. If I recall, it's backwards of what you would think. I'm almost positive instead of turning it counterclockwise, I believe you actually turn it clockwise. Then you get somebody to help you. You grab the roof right about here and it will simply lower right down into place. Now obviously you have to have the trunk open. Now, if your system isn't even allowing you to do that, there's another procedure where you use the manual key. You take that metal key out of your remote and you can unlock it, and there's YouTube videos on how to do that. Okay, so that kind of explains the emergency unlocking procedure. Getting back to installation and removal of the window regulators. Okay, so this is the regulator from the left rear or driver's side rear quarter window. There's only 3 attached points. This is how the regulator would sit in the car. Let me turn it this way.
It's too dark.
This is how it would sit in the car. My wife is saying we need some better lighting. There's only 3 points where it attaches. Now you've got this bottom point here, which has a 10mm nut, and then at the top you have this long bolt. And you see you got threads here, and you got threads here, and this nut is also supposed to be on there. When you have the regulator in the vehicle and you drop it down into the car, this bolt will fall through a hole in the fender well. And I'll show you in a moment. You just get up under the car. You don't need to remove the wheel. There is a rubber cap that's about that big. You pry that cap off, get maybe a short extension with a 10mm socket. You simply run that nut off. So now you've disconnected the bottom attach point. At the top, when this piece that rests between the fender and the inner fender wall, there's 2 what I call pinch points. And these pinch points, is this better lighting?
No, you're better off over here.
Better off here. These pinch points are right here and right here. Maybe I can point them out with the screwdriver better. Right here and right here. Can I get real close, Raylene?
You're too close.
Too close.
That's
okay, so right here, right in between what looks kind of like a washer, but it isn't, right there and there. And then of course this big nut will pinch here and here. So if you imagine that part of the fender wall has a little tab sticking out, this is going to slide into the tabs. Okay, so you've got your bottom in. I wouldn't even nut this up yet, just drop it in. Then you're going to pull the window outboard and you're going to engage the 2 tabs. What you're going to want to do is hold the window outboard toward the outside of the car like this. You're going to use one of these internal torque sockets. I don't recall the size. You're going to run this down, and that's going to lock the aft or rear pinch point. It'll lock that one down. Then using slight pressure, you're now going to run this down. I believe this is a 13mm nut. You're going to run that down. So you got 1, 2, 3 points of contact. Not sure if you can see it or not, but the cover is right here. In fact, this is what it looks like. And this cover fits up. It would be in about a 1 or 2 o'clock position. And you just simply remove it with your fingernails. So that's going to allow you to get your window regulator in and out of the car. If you come over here, Raylene, my beautiful wife is serving as my cinema photographer today. You do have a couple trim pieces to remove. Audrey, we're filming. Can you please be quiet?
Michael.
So you have